think about coming into this next game? You've got one under your belt, so how do you feel coming into this one after you guys played so well, especially that second half?
I feel confident about it. The younger guys are finally getting it. Just playing at the collegiate level and things like that. And I feel like we're gonna be, a great team coming into this season.
Tony, with all the guards that are able to shoot on this team, do you feel, compared to last year, there's less pressure on you to kind of just be the focal point of the offense?
Yeah, definitely. We got a lot of good players that can, like Coach said, dribble, pass, shoot. And, we all look for each other out there. So I feel like, our offense is based on, whoever can, create their own offense, or, just facilitate for somebody else. That's the main goal.
And Tony, kind of building off that, I think like you guys scored 17 points, the first 17 points of the game the other day, and you hadn't scored yet. So what does that kind of say about this team's offensive potential?
That we were really good. I don't have a lot of pressure on me, just playing a flow of the game, and just, be ready to, create or, be ready to shoot whenever, the time is. So, I was actually glad, how they played. They played really well the first game. It seemed like, it was no nerves and nothing like that. So, yeah.
How are you adjusting to this idea of random basketball?
I'm not adjusting to it because, I've already been here for a year. So I already know what to expect, from coach and the other coaches. So that's not really, something I'm thinking about because I already know how the offense of the game is.
The way Coach Cal presented it, it was like this drastic change. So you're saying it's not really. What really is the difference between last year and this year in terms of this randomness aspect?
Just dribble, drive. All the guys can, like I said, facilitate for one another. Can shoot and create their own shots. So I feel like we got a lot of that this year. So yeah.
Is having someone like Trey who can stretch the floor, is that even open things up more for you all, or how has Cal emphasized that, playing more outside the paint?
Yeah, like someone like Trey, that's a good passer, good shooter, and he could dribble, and it just opens up the floor a lot. Bring the big man out, and the guards can just facilitate and get in the paint and make plays. So yeah.
We've seen the younger guys getting some playing time. What shocked you most about how fast they've been able to kind of get into it, or what shocks you most about these young guys so far?
I feel like, they adjusted to the pace of the game really well than I thought. They were actually just moving, in transition. Those guys were flying down the court, and they were keeping up with me and things like that. So it was kind of, that really shocked me, going into that first game.
Do you see a different demeanor from these younger guys than maybe some other younger guys you have played with in the past?
Yeah. Hungry mentality. They're tough. They got a bunch of grit. They play with. And they just focus. From when the start of the game happened to the end of the game. So that's what I really like about this team.
When you say having other shooters kind of takes a lot of pressure off of you, did you feel a lot of that pressure last year, kind of being the only guy?
Not so much. I feel like we really had good scores last year as well. And I was just the perimeter shooter. I was just out there, just hunting shots and things like that. But I didn't really feel like it was too much pressure because I feel like our team was good last year as well. So it wasn't really too much of a big difference.
Coach Cal named about 4 other guys who he said had the green light on this team. So how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good, having great players around me and just those guys can create shots and do their own thing. So yeah.
Antonio, is there a certain number of shots you're kind of expected to take? I don't mean like you yourself, but it's like as a coaching staff concept, well, hey, we should be getting you 8 shots, 10 shots a game.
No, it's not even like that. I feel like Coach gave me the green light, so whatever shot, how many shots I take is how many shots I take. It really doesn't make a difference.
Well, the only reason I asked that is because in his post-game press conference, Kyle said that he kind of huddled up the team. And he's like, it's 5 or 6 minutes to start the game, and you hadn't even attempted a field goal. So he's like, guys, look for Antonio. He's a pretty good shooter. He scored. He's proven.
No, yeah, he said that, but it wasn't like how many shots you should take in the game. It wasn't like that. It was just like I'm a shooter. Just look for me. I'm great shooter, a great three-point shooter. So I feel like, that's what it was.
How has your green light changed over the years? There's a difference between being a freshman green light, like, hey, I could do this, and a senior green light that kind of coincides with the game plan.
I mean, it's my last year of college. Definitely, go out there and play as hard as I can, because you only get one more year of this when you're a senior. So I feel like, that's one of the differences. And, the freshman green light is, I mean, if you're open, shoot it. That's what it means. I mean, if you got something, definitely take it. Don't waste a shot. So, yeah.
Tony, you guys.
Have you gotten stronger during your time here?
Yeah, absolutely. I put on about 10 to 15 pounds since I've been here, and I feel it while I'm out there on the court, able to be a little bit more physical and move dudes a little bit easier. But that's just part of my game. I'm never going to back down from any type of physicality.
Was that intentional on your part? What was different between coming here versus what you had experienced before?
I knew coming here I was going to have to be a little bit bigger to fit in the role that they needed me to fit into, and so I just kind of molded to it. I mean, I wanted to put more weight on anyways because I feel like I play my best at that 230, 235 range, just the ability to be physical down low but still also be quick enough to move my feet on the perimeter.
Trey, you've had so many debuts in so many schools. Was there any nerves Monday, or was it like, I've just played so many basketball games, it's another game?
Honestly, no, I didn't really have much, just I really wanted to be in the moment and, really just step out there. And I mean, there was a picture that before jump ball, I was just standing there smiling just because I was just taking in the moment, being in Rupp for the first time with that packed house for our first game, and I was just enjoying it. I wouldn't say that I was nervous at all because, I trust my game and trust the work that I've put in. So, I mean, at that point, there are no nerves. You just have to fall back on your training and trust in that.
Now you got to do the tip for that game, right? But like the exhibition before that, Justin did it, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Like, who decides that? When does that? Does one of you have to talk to each other? Does Cal make that call? What goes into that?
I forget. Somebody told me before the game, he was like, Trey, you're doing it. And I was just like, okay, that's fine. I forget who it was. It was one of the coaches, though. They were just like, Trey, you're doing a jump ball. And I was like, all right.
How often in your career have you done that before now? Because I assume you hadn't always really been the tallest available player.
I've done a lot of jump balls in my day, But, I mean, at West Virginia, obviously, I was at the 4, so I didn't have to do it.
When you get the ball at the top of the key, you obviously have a lot of options with how you can go. What's kind of the first thing you look for when the defense is coming at you when you get the ball up there?
It depends. It depends on the situation. It could be a reversal from a guard from one side, and the other side might be empty. It might be one person opposed to two people, and it depends on where the person is. In the short corner where our other guy is, it could be an option to go at a two-man and see if they can run an action where they set a screen for each other, see how the defense reacts to it. It could be a matter of them reversing it to 5 over rotating, so then drive the high foot. I mean, there's just so many options. It's kind of a read and react type of thing.
There's a couple of times in the season opener where you just took it yourself. Is that a split moment decision? How do you make that call, I guess, when that happens?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everything I do on the court is kind of like a processing type of moment for me because you have to play off I believe you have to play off the defense and then make the defense play off you, if that makes sense. You have to make that first decision and make them make an adjustment. And then when they make that adjustment, you make a decision off of that. And that's just kind of how I see the game, read and react type of thing.
Is Monday the most you feel like you've ever been able to showcase, like your passing ability in a single game?
I mean, sure, I guess so. Maybe. I'm not really sure. I don't know.
Well, you mean that tied like a career high for you for a single game in college?
Yeah.
I didn't know if you...
I mean, and on top of that, all those, you have to credit those to the players, I can give you the ball, but you got to put it in the hoop.
Do you think that's an underrated skill if you were like your passing? Do you think it's underrated?
Yeah, I'd say so, because I think I see the floor very well, and I feel like I make a good decision with the ball most of the time.
I know you've maybe been. Oh, go on, sorry.
Cal mentioned a tweak